we just tore down Alex Sarr, who we are wildly unimpressed with. And yeah, gross. Now let's talk about a really good player, maybe the most exciting guard in this draft class. And yeah, this draft class includes Reed Shepherd, I know, but I think I may have been more impressed thus far, Cart, with Bub Carrington, Carlton Carrington, Pitt's finest. We love Bub. We loved him in college. He's been incredible in his early summer league run. What have you seen from Bub Carrington that you like?
Okay, looking back on this, I went back and I watched our preview of Bub when we did the draft profiles. I didn't give enough credit to the fact that he actually goes by Bub. We should have seen this coming off rip. The kid's name is Bub Carrington, and we had doubts if he was going to be a good NBA player. Shame on us. That's called overlooking things. But no, Bub has looked incredible. He truly has. Like he's one, like his size. I don't think I took enough. I gave enough like credence to. Like he looks the part of like a big guard. He's controlling the game. He's hitting pull-up threes. He's scoring from everywhere too, by the way. Like last game, I think was one of the more impressive ones to me because as I was watching it, it seemed like he was scoring in a variety of ways. Then I go back and I watch like the NBA cut up of just his buckets. And he truly was. I'm talking about like rebound, drive the length of the court, dunk it, come off a dribble handoff, relocate, space out in the corner, hit the three. Like I just think he was doing so much on top of creating and rebounding. I think he's going to be a really, really good player in this league. And the fact that he's like one of the younger players in this draft too. So like the upside for him, if I'm a Washington Wizards fan, I'm through the roof.
He's 6'5".
Yeah. But he looks taller than that damn near.
Yeah, that so like Card, I watched a ton of Bub Carrington in college, infamously in the middle of the season when we were talking about our favorite players. I was always in on the Bub Doug backcourt. Like that was my dream was Doug and Bub. Bub is way better because Bub is going to be an NBA superstar. But I like just you watch him in college for whatever reason, he didn't look this big to me, and he is this big. But
Well, we blame Pitt for that.
yeah, it's partially Pitt. I don't
It's
know. Like
Tristan's fault.
he just on the court, he looks like 6'7". Like he looks like a legitimate wing type, but he has all the point guard skills. His averages have been stupid. Take summer league averages with a grain of salt, of course, but um he is averaging 19 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 6 assists through 3 games. And look, we've known he's capable of like approaching triple double stuff. He's one of the most productive guards that can do everything on a basketball court. But the eye test is legit for me too. He looks so explosive. That first step is electric. His shot making at all 3 levels. He's a contested shot maker, but he makes shots that should be contested look open because he's just so good at getting to his spots and explosive. That's the word that comes to mind. I think this guy is going to be an NBA star for a really long time. And for the Wizards, it obviously negates to some extent the fact that your number 2 overall pick looks really bad. He's struggling so much because this might be a case where we look back 5 years from now, Cart. Not saying Sarr can't turn around his career and be good, but like there's a world where Bub Carrington's the first or second best player in this draft class, and they got him late. And you forget about who the bust is at the top of the board because you may have gotten one of the best players in the class anyway.
Yeah, that's one way to soften the blow.
Yeah.
For and honestly, like it's not just. I mean, there's been moments from Kaishan George as well. So like, like it's honestly it could have been a really good Wizards draft if Sarr wasn't putting up Tony Snell numbers in summer league games.
Do you have an NBA player that early Bub Carrington looks remind you of? Because I have one. They're very different stylistically in some ways, but I'm getting some hints of one guy that I love.
I don't have one, so go ahead and move
You might
forward.
hate this, but the whole experience of like Bub being taken 14th overall and now what he's doing in summer league and now like where this is headed.
Is it a Michigan player?
No, it feels very Tyrese Maxey to me.
Ooh, Max! Wow,
So,
that good, huh?
well, yeah, because like here was the thing, like back if you put yourself back in the shoes pre NBA draft when Maxey was going to the league, college basketball fans knew how good he was. And there were questions like, is that going to translate or not? Point guard's a hard position to be good at in the NBA. If you're not one of like the pedigree guys, oftentimes you flame out, even if you're really talented. But as draft night went on, like we thought Maxey could be a lottery pick. He ends up being available in the 20s. I forget what pick he was taken. But it got to a certain point where like you and I and a lot of other fans were texting each other like, how is anyone letting this guy slip anymore? You got to roll the dice and see. And then within a year, it was like, okay, he's clearly an NBA player. And then within 2 years, it was like, nah, he's one of the best guards in the league. And I still don't think we've seen full Maxey because of his situation. Like you play with Joel Embiid and you play with other superstars, which he's done to this point in his career. Like you don't know what Tyrese Maxey is until he's on his own team in more of a featured role. But this is what I expect Bub's trajectory to be at this point. Like I see the explosion. I see the quick first step. I see the scoring ability. Just like Maxey, Bub feels like a guy who could pour in shots on a night where he's hot, like 30 plus points frequently. And in Washington, like since there is no Joel Embiid right now, we could see very prolific numbers early. Like I'm talking year one. I think this is the starting point guard on the Wizards right away. And I think a couple of years now, we look back like, how the hell did this guy fall to 14th in a draft that everybody felt like was wide open?
Yeah, and with him being one of the younger prospects too, like seeing this early, that would if I'm a Wizards fan, that gives me enough to get me through the season.
Yeah, 100%. It must be fun, man. Like to have a young player you believe in. I wish I had one. Car, you know what I love about you?
That I'm handsome?
You're reliable. I can count on you. Honestly, you remind me of Aaron Henry a little bit. Remember when their back was against the wall, nothing was going right, and man just showed up every day. He didn't make excuses. There were no problems. There were just solutions.
Sounds like me.
That's you. And it also reminds me of Duncan Mechanical Solutions, because if you're looking for quality furnace repair, look no further than the heating and air experts that you can trust. Comfort and quality are their standard. They're an HVAC company that serves Northeast Indiana and Southern Michigan, whether it's heating and air conditioning, plumbing, kitchen and bath remodeling, or emergency services when you need them most. Duncan Mechanical Solutions has reliable service that you can count on. Cart, remember when your basement almost exploded?
I remember when my basement almost exploded. I remember when my furnace itself was acting funny. I remember when my AC was acting funny. I wish I had Duncan in my back pocket. I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been anywhere in northern Indiana or southern Michigan that hasn't been perfectly cool or perfectly warm, depending on when the day called for. And that's because of Duncan Mechanical Solutions. They are the presenting sponsor for the month of July. Shout out to Duncan Mechanical Solutions. Go to duncanmechanicalsolutions.com to learn more.